I'm going to share just a quick update for folks who are following along at home or not on the state of the budget, and am open to members of the committee as well as others who've been participating to also feel free to jump in and share if you'd like. I have posted the slides from the Finance Committee there and just have a condensed version here just to share that. And so just to remind folks, the overall budget that we're discussing and that the Finance Committee will vote to move back to the overall board or some version of it. The initial proposal had an overall budget of $171.7 million that was focused on student experiences and outcomes that was directly aligned to the strategic plan. The budget book that you have includes all revenues and expenses and not just local funding. And so 171 million represents both our local budget as well as federal and all state funding. The budget was developed after extensive engagement with the community, staff, and school leadership. It includes, as the committee's discussed on several occasions, investments in music at the high schools, reading support at our elementary schools, and special education district-wide. And the proposed budget, as initially discussed, would raise the school portion of the property taxes by 5.3% or 42 cents per $1,000 of assessed value, which for a median homeowner, which we're saying is a $500,000 house, this would result in an increase of $210 per year. After the presentation of that initial budget, we did learn that our medical benefits would come in higher than the 6% that we budgeted. And so that's been part of what's been sitting underneath the Finance Committee discussions. And so just as an overview of our benefits, PPS provides generous benefits to our staff to stay competitive within the market. Our medical benefits are budgeted to cost $22.7 million. Our dental just under $800,000, and our retirement $5.3 million. Our medical and dental benefits premiums were each budgeted to increase by 6 percentage points. And when we received the information that it would go up, MEA Trust is who administers our medical benefits. They indicated that it could increase by as much as 18 percentage points. That was not Portland Public School specific, but that was what was shared across the state. There's some context that's worth sharing there. So the district share, the employer share of the increase for members in the PEA, which is our teachers, social workers, guidance counselors, that increase is currently capped at 5.38%, which is 3% annually plus 2.3% increase from last year as well. And so their contract is capped at a 3% increase each year. There was a 5.3% increase last year, so we owe that 2.3% or have to take that on this coming year. The PPS share for all other staff is currently not capped. And so if it were to increase by 18 percentage points, the employer share, our share, would be that whole 18 percentage points. We currently have budgeted 6 percentage points. For every 1% increase above 6%, there's an approximate $110,000 increase in premiums. And so a 12 percentage point increase would be $1.32 million. We did get, since we started these conversations, dental benefits, and the premium increase has been finalized at 5.97%. I'd like to claim that I'm really good at darts and got that pretty close, but it just means that we have neither savings nor increased expenses there. And so we're really talking at this point just about medical. And we'll learn our medical benefit premiums in late March or early April. Last year, we learned on April 3rd. Which would be right in the middle of the first read and the second read of the budget as it's currently scheduled. And then just so that everybody has the context, The board did ask us, and we did share this in the Finance Committee, but just sharing it here so that everybody has this as we go through these conversations. The board asked us how a $500,000 or a $1 million adjustment in the budget would impact property tax rates. And so the chart on the left shows this. And so on the left, you can see what our tax levy increase will be based on an assumed increase in the property tax valuation overall. So we're assuming already that the property tax valuation in the city will increase to $15,320 million. If we were to do no increase in the mill rate, just that increase in property tax valuation, we would see in that first line an increase in our tax levy of $1.3 million. Right now, the proposed budget is for a 5.3% increase, 42-cent mill rate, and there's where you see a 7.75 increase in the overall tax levy. That's what our budget currently proposes, which is where you get the $210 impact on the median homeowner. If there was a $500,000 adjustment, it would, if it was a reduction in the budget, it would reduce the property tax per 1,000 of assessed value by 3 cents or to $8.27 from $8.30. And it would reduce the property tax bill on a median home by $16.32 for the year or $1.36 per month. A $1 million adjustment would impact the property tax rate by 7 cents and $32.64 on an annual rate. And so that's the context on which we've had these discussions. And so the proposed mill rate as it stands right now that the committee's been discussing is $8.30. On a $500,000 home valuation, that would be $4,150 for the school portion of the property tax, which again is to get your total property tax is an average of the school portion and the city portion almost exactly. So far, what I would say is that the committee's had a robust discussion on both the comfort level with the proposed budget as well as potential adjustments. And what you have here, and if you were to go on board docs and what you can see in the backup slides in board docs is more detail on each of these proposed adjustments. And these are not adjustments that the committee has said to move forward with. These are adjustments that members of cabinet developed so that the finance committee had areas that they could discuss and engage in, as well as others that they may have wanted. And I would say that the committee's discussed them. Nothing's finalized yet, but there's been general sort of a positive acceptance and receptiveness to Andy's offering around the foundation piece, which is the first line, which is, as she shared, their willingness to assume some additional costs in alignment with work that they've already supported. And then the other areas are ones that were discussed and are still points of discussion. But one of the things that we just want to clarify for probably the public is there are not things that have been said we're going to change, but instead have been things that have been discussed. And so I think that's where we are at this point in the discussion. Here's the full calendar. On March 24th, it's anticipated that the Finance Committee will vote on the budget to move it back to the full board. Before that happens, on Thursday, so 2 days from now, you're all welcome to join. Hopefully all the members of the Finance Committee will be able to join a joint meeting of the Finance Committees of both the City Council and the School Board. I don't have the exact time on it. I'm looking. Is it 5 o'clock? It's at 5 o'clock. It'll be on Zoom. That meeting will be an opportunity where we will present the budget to the joint committees. And the meeting on the 27th that is listed there, that meeting will actually focus on the audit report. And so that's the update. Chair Bryden, I don't know if there's anything you want to add on it.
Sure. Thank you, Superintendent. One quick note on the Thursday the 20th and Thursday the 27th. If folks are looking to join and watch the discussion, it presents like a city council meeting versus a finance committee meeting of the Board of Education. So, and then I just, if the timing is okay, I just wanted to ask a quick clarifying question about during the section of your remarks where you were talking about the non-rep folks, and then right after that you said board stipends were you did not include them. I just wanted to get clarity for everybody in the room and the community, specifically what you meant by did not include. Is it that you didn't include an increase because there is no increase, because or like some other way of reading those three words?
Yeah, so the regulation actually on stipends for board members is defined in I believe it's actually in the charter, and it is dictated that the board members will get the same stipend that city councilors receive. And so it's defined there, and so it will get implemented once city council identifies it. It's not anticipated to be of significance. You guys are very generous with your time, and you are not compensated for it. And so it is budgeted right now at your current stipend rate, which is not of any significance, is approximately, for public viewers, approximately $7,000.
Thank you for that clarity. And then just in terms of general addition to the conversation, I want to reiterate what I said in yesterday's committee meeting to just express gratitude for your efforts and the efforts of the team in putting together so much clear, effectively communicated information so that the committee could have really good conversations about different areas that different committee members wanted to interrogate relative to the budget, and also just the hard work of bringing forward a budget that yes, absolutely. Applause. That really strikes a good balance between efficiency, being respectful and careful with taxpayer dollars, and providing an excellent education to students. So I want to thank you for that.
Any other questions from the board or student representatives? I saw board member Lena, and then I'll come to vice chair.
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify the amount of money that the foundation was going to cover. In Andy's presentation, I saw the number 130,000, but in the superintendent's presentation, it was 63,000.
So the number I'm showing of the 63,000 is an increase from what was originally planned, and it's actually, so let me try this a different way. So the original budget book has $63,000 in expenses that, if you were to approve the budget book that was originally proposed by the superintendent, would have $63,000 that the foundation has now said that they will pay for. And so basically, with how our budget process works, in this time, you need to say, we authorize pulling that out and allowing the foundation to pay. In other times of the year, that would naturally happen, but in our budget process, that's how it works. And so that's why you see the difference. The foundation actually pays for probably more than $130,000 when we factor in the mobile makerspace, the staff, et cetera.
Vice Chair Bondo, go ahead.
Thank you, Superintendent. I have one small question here on the reduction on the custodian, because I heard the adult education, they're missing custodian. So I'm just wondering if we were using here a full-time custodian and we have some needs, so what we have some trade-off from that.
So
what we do.
yeah, so the adult ed is not getting changed in custodian. There's a personnel piece that we could talk about, but we can't talk about in public session
Okay.
on why that is the current case that they're facing. The piece that is in the budget, just to be like really clear, is we have 3 staff right now that work a second shift in custodian that are floats. They serve as extras. So if somebody is absent, we move them around to fill in. The budget book that was proposed to you on March 4th added a 4th one.
Okay.
And so there was a proposal to add a 4th. When we learned that benefits would come in higher, we said if we needed to make a reduction in the proposed budget, one spot that could be considered, we don't love it, but one spot that could be considered would be to not add that as a 4th. So, well, conceptually, it may feel like it's a reduction. It is not a reduction in what currently exists. It's a reduction in what is proposed.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. And I don't know, maybe I miss, do we have the exact amount we're taking from the fund reserve? And then if we have some details on those expenditures?
Yes. So in the budget, there is the fund balance. So the proposal for the general fund, there's 3 different fund balances that we have.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
There is a fund balance that is food service. There's a
Yeah.
fund balance that adult ed has, and then there is a fund balance that is the general. This budget proposes to use $3.9 million in the general fund balance. On the 27th, when you get the audited financials at the joint committee meeting, you will see at that time, that's actually when we'll see it as well, exactly our audited financials, which will tell you what our current fund balance is.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
I can
Yes,
show you where it is in the budget book. There's
Okay.
a page. I asked the same question at the last meeting.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions from board members? Student representatives? Okay.